Hey everybody, welcome to Shooting the with Yankee. I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Tonight's topic is one that someone in my comment section, they sent me an email and asked me to do this topic tonight. And it is how to properly store and secure a trunk/truck gun. If you keep a gun in your vehicle, how do you properly store it? How do you be responsible and make sure that gun doesn't end up in the wrong hands? And, my opinion on this is it safe to keep a trunk gun? I've covered this before. And how should you secure it if you do? Put it in your car. To me, that is all your liability. As long as it's not in sight and it's inside your vehicle, well, then that is not somebody else's property. And if they decide to violate your property, that's where your legal liability ends. When they break the law, you stop legally being liable. That's the way I feel about it. Same thing in your home. If someone comes through an open window and steals a gun out of your nightstand, I don't believe you somehow now bear some liability for what that criminal does with that gun. That's not how things work. I did a video the other day talking about, waking up one day and the police show up about your car being stolen and they ran over someone. You're responsible. Same thing with guns. If you parked your car in your driveway and you went inside and someone comes along and steals it, doesn't matter if you didn't lock it in a garage or you didn't put a club on the steering wheel. It doesn't make you more liable for what they do. Feel the same way about guns in your cars. Now, there are special precautions you should take. If you work somewhere where your car is going to be out in public a lot, well, then make sure your doors are locked and the gun is out of sight, like in the glove box with the locked doors. Then I think you've done everything you should do to keep that gun safe. Now, can you do more? Yes. If you want to do more, do more. Buy a special lockbox for your car. Get one of those things that secures a shotgun to the top of your trunk. I want one of those really badly. I want to be able to secure a shotgun to my trunk lid, the deck lid on my trunk. Do stuff like that. Lock them up. But other than that, as long as they are locked in a trunk, put out of sight, put in a glove box or whatever, you're doing what you need to do. And like I said, if you have special circumstances where your car's out all day, well, don't leave your car unlocked or move it somewhere where it's not seen if it's somewhere where it is seen when you're not in the car. Me, however, someone like me whose car spends 99.9% of its time in the driveway, well, my gun's just on the back seat. Now, you can't see it day or night. You cannot see in my car because of my tinted windows, and you wouldn't be able to see it where it's at anyway. But there's times I leave my car unlocked in my driveway. If someone comes on my property, breaks in my vehicle, steals my property, that's what they do with it later is on them. Now, I can't say I bear no burden there of, I could have prevented it, because I could have if I'd locked my car. But that's a personal issue. That's not a legal issue as far as I'm concerned. That's how I feel about it. I don't think you have to take any special precaution, but I'd love to hear what precautions people do take or whether they think you need to take precautions. So let's go over here to the live chat, see what people got to say. Because like I said, these chats are supposed to be more about your opinions than mine. So come to our live chats. We have them every night at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, and let me know what you think of whatever topic we're discussing at the time. Tonight we got Dale Rickety weighing in here, and he says, lockbox for long term. If I roll into the post office, I put it in my secret hiding space. Is that up your butt? Because I know some people would say that would be up their butt. Between the seats. Oh, man, that's less exciting. Always out of sight and a locked truck. Yes, always lock your doors out in public. I never leave my car unlocked in public, whether I got a gun in it or not. Well, that's a lie. If I'm driving my truck, I will often leave the car doors unlocked simply because there's nothing in there worth stealing. And I would rather them find that out after they open the doors and rummage through the glove box and the change in the ashtray and stuff. I'd rather they find that out after they just opened the doors than after they broke a window. So I will often leave the truck unlocked. Plus the driver's side door, you have to lock it manually with the key. And I'm just like, because the power lock don't work no more. I could have it fixed, but why bother on a truck that old? Officer Tater Hater chimed in here and says, I got a new iPhone and YouTube page so I can finally send chats. I typically keep my gun in a lock case. We're joining the modern age. In a lock case, I stash under my seat. I take it out when I use. We do that in one of the cars. One of the cars has one of those boop, 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 finger safes that's under the seat and it's cable locked to the frame. Not the most foolproof system. If anybody's got bolt cutters, they could take it just by cutting the cable, but how many people walk around with bolt cutters? And it's under the seat in a locked car. You can't see it. Plus, our cars never go anywhere. But yeah, that's just a minimal effort like that is often great. But then you got to remember, well, what if I need it while I'm driving? So, and then for me, the reason I don't put mine in a lockbox in the car is because it's on the back of my seat where nobody can see it. I know it's there. If I ever needed it in a bad situation, like I got caught in a mob downtown and I can't really get to my carry gun that easily because I'm sitting with a seatbelt on, it's right there. I can grab it. And if I had to take it out and put it in a lockbox every time I got out of the car and take it out of the lockbox and put it in the seat when I got in, it would never be where I needed it to be because I'd always forget. I'd always forget to get it out and put it on the back of the seat whenever I got in the car. Dale Rickety, I don't keep a gun in my truck unless I am in it. Same thing with my truck. I don't keep a spare gun in my truck. It's only in my car because if I'm going to be somewhere any distance from home, it's my car. And if I ever have to find myself having to get home, have been in my car when I have to do it. If I'm in my truck, well, I'm close to home. I don't ever go very far in the truck, just the feed store, the dump, etc. So, yeah, I don't keep anything in the truck either. Nominal Snowman, will U.S. international relations and power return after Trump is gone? Seems like 100 years of diplomacy is dead. I expect as much from a treasoner. Well, that doesn't really have anything to do with the topic. I'll address it during our next chat, but I don't know if we have as much respect overseas as a lot of people think we did, or they see us as bullies. I think we're mostly seen as bullies and corporatists and profiteers. Whether that'll come back, I don't know. Is it worse? A little worse now? Well, yeah, now we're kind of a laughing stock too, but I don't think if it's worse. Edgar Cortez, I keep my gun under the car seat out of sight and the car locked. When I start driving, I place the gun in the holster or in the cup holder when I'm driving. Well, I don't know about in a cup holder. I'd be worried about if I wreck it flying around or damaging my gun or my car. Yeah, see, I would never remember to get it out. It's why I can't have a phone charger in my car. It's why I can't use it. It's like when on the few occasions I would ever use the charger, the wireless charger in my car, I'd take the phone out of my pocket and put it on it. Well, every time I got out of the car that day, I didn't have my phone wherever I went because I forgot to get it out. And then when I got home 3 days later, I'd be like, where's my phone? And it had been in the car dead for 3 days. So I can't remember those things. My brain doesn't sweat the small stuff anymore. It's too old. It has to keep the regular stuff. It's got to keep the important business at hand in my head. Like, don't piss yourself if you sneeze. Don't shit your pants, all those kind of things. It's got to constantly keep concentrating on those things so it doesn't sweat the small stuff. Jacoby, Taurus G2C in a V-line pistol safe in a car. Good. It's a backup, I assume. And that's, if your gun is in your car, not for use if you're driving or if you're in a bad situation, like you live somewhere where you're never going to run into a mob of people, like you're never going to run into an Antifa demonstration. And it's just in the car in case you ever need backup. Or maybe if you're out with somebody and natural disaster occurs and you have to try to survive and get back home and and your friend's not armed and you're like, here, now you're armed. I keep a gun and a holster. There's a holster for the gun in the car with it. It's actually held in the back of the seat with an inside waistband holster, clip-on holster. So you can actually arm a friend. So a gun in a box, that's just for emergencies, that's fine. Doesn't have to be available for use. Jason Mandrick, I bring the gun in from the house, and when I'm not in the car, I lock the console. I bring the gun in from the house, and when I'm not in the car, I bring the gun in. Is he saying if he leaves it in the car, he locks it in the console, or he just takes it in the house? See, if I ever took it back in the house, it'd never get back in the car. That's my problem. Ghost Shadow says they have actual video or RIM 700 rifles firing with safety on and nothing touching the trigger. Yeah, those are actually defective guns. Those had proof. That was bad design. It was easily proven to be a bad design. You could recreate it easily. Hell, if guns fell over, they went off with the safety on. It's just see, there are cases where guns have been unsafe, and that's one of them. But there is no such evidence on the P320. Different topic, I know, but we were talking about that before the chat started filming. Mr. Furley says locked compartment, discreet but accessible. Well, is it locked all the time? Because if it's like locked in your glove box, doesn't your ignition key unlock your box? So you have to undo your ignition key. And so I wouldn't say it's super accessible. If they disarm you, couldn't be stolen. If they disarm you, couldn't be stolen. Okay, I don't know what that means. Mikey D gave us a riddle. He thinks he's like a troll under a bridge or something. Because that, I don't think, does that make sense to anybody else? Am I just missing something? Or is that like a really bad riddle? Or not bad, it might be a good riddle. I just don't get it. Which would probably mean it's good since I don't get it. Heavy J said $10 lockbox locked truck works for me. That works for me too. I'm fine. I'd just be fine with just the locked truck myself. But that looks like that's the last person weighing in today. I want to say thanks to everybody who did come in and did weigh in on the topic. Seems like most of us are on pretty much the same page. Doesn't seem to be as many people as you would hear in some places yelling, "Never leave again in the car." I thought we might get some of that. You're responsible if someone gets a hold of it. You know, that used to be a lot more prevalent of a position. We did get one more coming in here real quick from Pigar, always late. I drive a Fiat 500X. I thought you were a man. Here all this time, I thought Pigar was a man. I can have the biggest gun in the car in my car. No cop will think a girl has a gun in the car. Plus, I can speed all I want. That's right. I always thought Pigar was a man. I might be. I guess I was wrong. Yeah. I'm a little shook by all that. But thanks everybody, like I said, for coming and weighing in. I appreciate it. If you want to come weigh in on one of our topics, come to one of our live chats. We do them every night at 6 p.m. As I said before, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. If you want to weigh in on this topic, weigh in on the comment section below. But I hope to see you in a live chat someday soon. And until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.